I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, June the 23rd, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Bimeda. Macrocin has proven efficacy at an affordable upfront price. To learn more about how Macrocin compares against the head-to-head against the Pioneer products, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri. Big yearling special here today on Monday. I mean, a big one. Expecting 8,000 head, and most of the cattle have already moved, guys, but big sale there. Lots and lots of yearlings. I mean, no telling how many loads of straight loads of yearlings that they'll have. They're starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it'll be a big sale. Don't forget about that Big Bang primetime livestock video through Joplin Regional Stockyards. It's going to be at the Crossing Casino in Pittsburgh, Kansas on July the 1st. Jackie told me the other day, he said he thinks there may be 70,000 head on that sale. It'll be a big one too. So be looking forward to that. Unrest intensifies, and we bombed Iran, took out their nuclear sites, and there's no telling what that's going to do, but it's going to cause volatility and unrest, and your markets are going to be unsure. And you know, volatility, we're used to that. These markets were hugely volatile, even though we had 4 days last week. In the futures market, they were very, very volatile, up nearly $4 one day and down nearly $7 another day in our cattle futures. But we're sure to see more of that. The cattle on feed report come out on Friday, and it was bullish, mildly bullish there. Your June 1st inventories, cattle on feed, 98.7% of a year ago. The average guess was 99%. Marketings come in well under what I thought they would be. I thought they might be a little heavier because we had so many auction receipts, but 92.2% of a year ago, and the average guess was 94.9. So that's pretty bullish, guys. But it just goes to show you, you miss the placements that far, and you still only miss the cattle on feed 0.3%. But our marketings were terrible, 89.9%. That's less than 90% of a year ago, because the packers just slashed the slaughter, and so you know you're not marketing those cattle. But 89.9%, and the average of the analyst guess was 90.3. But it was a mildly bullish cattle on feed report. I took a little detour on my way to San Marcos, Texas, to the Independent Cattlemen's Association of Texas convention this week, and went down to Rockport, Texas, and went fishing, and was doing a little vacationing on a work play trip there, but having a good time down here. I want to tell you about Coffeyville Stockyards. They're having their Blue Stem special video sale, and that is coming up July the 2nd. So you want to be sure to go to that if you can. It's at the Crossbell Ranch, that is historic ranch. And if you would like to go there and look around at that ranch, I mean, you can. They have it right there at the ranch. They're expecting about 25,000 head on that video sale. It's going to be on June 2nd at 5 o'clock in the afternoon starting out. They're going to have steak sandwiches. They're going to have cash bar. They're going to have a good sale there, and be a lot of people there under a tent to watch that sale. I'm going to be on hand too. Contact Doug Bell or Tylen Layton if you want more information about that sale. Let's talk about your board for last week. June live cattle futures, Monday was up 192, Tuesday down 377. See that volatility I was talking about. Wednesday was up $1.05. Thursday was Juneteenth. You can't have futures on Juneteenth. Friday was down 127 after being higher early. But June live cattle ended the week at 223.02. That was down 208. August feeder, and then August live cattle ended the week at 209.82. That was down 263. August feeder cattle, Monday was up 380, and then Tuesday down 687. Wow. Wednesday was up 82 cents. Thursday was a holiday. Friday down 172 after being up earlier. But August feeder cattle ended the week at 302.42. That was down 397. September ended the week at 302.22, down 338 for the week. Your fat cattle trade up through Thursday of last week at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they had sold 37,400 head negotiated cash in the 5-area feeding region. The market was quite a bit lower, and especially in the southern plains, which had not completely traded all the cattle, I don't think, but no more than they trade down there. How could you tell? But the prices in the 5-area feeding region negotiated range from $225 to $238. That's $6 to $7 lower. Weighted average on live steers in the 5-area was $236.20, down $248. Dress sales ranged from $372 to $378. Now that was 2 higher to 5 lower, but your weighted average on dress steers was $345 lower at $376.61. So as a whole, the Southern Plains market was mostly 7 lower at $228. They gained a little bit of ground and closed that gap on the Northern Plains the week before, and then give it all back this last week. Northern Plains was $5 to $6 lower, $235 to $236, and $4 lower dress at $376 for the most part. On Friday, we had a little bit more trade, and we could have had even more trade after 2 o'clock that I won't get until they start putting the reports out this week, but we'll wrap it up on our next visit. But Iowa on Friday sold 1,300. They'd sold 19,200 for the week. Live sales 235 to 236, and dress sales 376. Nebraska sold 500 on Friday, 18,900 for the week, and they only had dress sales on Friday at 376. Kansas sold about 950 head on Friday. They'd sold 2,000 for the week, and live sales 228, mostly 228. Few sales up to 234. Texas sold 1,100 head early Friday at 228, mostly up to 230. Box beef cutout values were sharply higher. These packers have kind of got this deal figured out. Get these wholesalers to pay us extremely more money for our box beef cutouts, and give less for the cattle. That's how you shore up that red ink. But choice cuts, your weighted average on all of last week's sales, 388.36, up 14.68. And then late Friday, it was up even $2, over $2 more than that. Weighted average at 390.50. Your select cuts, all of last week's cuts, had a weighted average of 378.86. That was up 11.64. And your late Friday sales were about $4 more than that, at almost 377. But I mean, that's just sharply higher, guys. All that information had a weighted average spread of $15.50 between choice and select, and all that information on 443 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Your loin posted an all-time high on Thursday, higher than it's ever been at 556.80. That's even higher than the gouging during COVID, but that is up $169.66 since early January. Wow. And pork is going up too, guys. I mean, all these protein meats are going up. Your slaughter, 554,000 for last week. That's 4,000 less than the previous week, and 62,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Fairpiece, always talk about it, that revolutionary product that is scientifically proven Was having a meeting there with Dr. Rodrigo a few weeks ago, and you know, we just got reaffirmed on everything, and he's just about to open up that brand new warehouse and brand new laboratories. He's always going to be able to fill the orders there. You need to address the stress in your cattle. It works, and it's too cheap not to use. For just $3 a dose, there's no reason you shouldn't treat your cattle every time you get your hands on them. For more information, go to fairpeace.com. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index ended the week after all your sales had closed at 310.59. That was down $3 smooth. So you know, your feeders were lower last week. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index at 310.99. I want to tell you about a sale that's going to come up tomorrow, and that is going to be Unionville Livestock Market's barbecue special appreciation sale, and they're going to have a big sale. They're going to have the Rockin' R's there. They've got several other distinguished consignments there. Don't miss that sale on DVAuction.com. Let's talk about your big sales on over the weekend or on Friday. There weren't very many. Now, I've been telling you guys that we're going to get to the point where other than a special, we're not going to have hardly any sales to talk about, and we're there. Unless it's a special sale, there's not going to be enough cattle to water shotgun, and especially over the weekend and getting this close to the holidays, it was very, very light, and it's going to be extremely light for the next 2.5 weeks. But on Friday, Fort Pierre, South Dakota did have a big sale. Fort Pierre Livestock, 4,600 head. Now, they hadn't had a sale for 2 weeks, but that trend on the steers was $10 to $15 lower. This market is easier, guys. I know it's still nosebleed high, but it is easier. Heifers, $10 to $20 lower. It was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Livestock Handling Equipment, stick out sale of the day, and they had some impressive quotes. They had 504 head of the light 8-weight steers, averaged 811 at 324.09 on all of them, and it's lower. That's unbelievable. 861 head of light 9-weight steers, averaged 933 pounds at 311.55. But look at some of the heifers there. I couldn't believe they had 490 head in the 8-weight category, and this included some replacements, some spayed heifers, and then just some regular straight up heifers in there. But 490 of them averaged 843 and brought 287.25 on the average. They had those replacement heifers ranging from 291 to 317 in the 8-weight category, and just straight up feeder heifers all the way up to 289, and that market was dollars and dollars lower, guys, but still pretty impressive. Look at some other impressive quotes late last week and over the weekend. Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky, 108 head, 972 pound steers bring 290.60. Way out in Kentucky, guys, that's impressive. How about Fort Scott Livestock Market, Fort Scott, Kansas, eastern Kansas, right on the Missouri border there. 52 steers weighed 998 or a grand. They weighed 1,000 pounds and bring 294.25. That's awfully good. But most impressive quote that I saw anywhere is from Crawford Livestock Market, and it was your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day. They had a lot of impressive quotes. They had some impressive replacement heifers. They had some light steers, 51 head, 579 pound steers bring 420. But the most impressive thing I saw was 3 loads of steers weighed 960 on the average, bring 308.50. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.